Hello Nick, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so this is OKTA's first time at JISEC, right?
Correct.
So how do you feel about it?
Well, we're using JISEC really as an indication in the market in the UAE and broader GCC to understand what the cloud adoption is in the region. We, as a solution that secures connections to the cloud, we're all about organisations using cloud resources, whether it be applications or resources, etc., etc. We have a number of very large customers here in the UAE currently, but we need to understand more about the market. So we're using JISEC as a tool to be able to understand the market a little bit better with our partner, Paramount Computer Systems.
Okay, so tell us about OKTA in brief. What does OKTA do?
So OKTA is a foundation to secure cloud connections. So there's my elevator pitch. What does that mean? That means a couple of different things. Firstly, it means that organizations use the cloud. Whether they know they use the cloud or not, they use the cloud. So, and the cloud is a fantastic way of connecting people to various things, but also it needs to be secure. And where OKTA comes into it, we're the security layer between an identity and cloud applications or cloud resources.
So when you say secure connectivity to the cloud, right? So like how far can you vouch for security on the cloud? So where do you see the entire security market standing now?
So I think security in cloud is a massive topic that could take days and weeks to have a conversation around. What OKTA focuses on is the secure connection between an identity, whether that be a traditional identity that is on an on-premise environment, something like Active Directory, or whether that's an external identity, whether that's a loyalty scheme for Etihad Airways. Yeah. But predominantly we talk about the on-prem identity, right? So every organization just about has an on-prem identity, again, Active Directory. But every organization is moving to the cloud. So how do you secure that identity to be able to move to the cloud and be able to validate who they are and make sure there is policies in place that user can access systems where and when needed, but also where and when the company, the organization needs them to. And we're really that broker that be able to do that.
So talking specifically about the cloud, okay, so how do you see the entire, the concept of cloud coming along for this particular region? Like how mature is the cloud in the Middle East region?
It's a really good question, and again, that's why we're here at JISEC, right? So we need to understand the cloud better and the utilization. So, it's very simple for me to stand here and say everybody's using Office 365. Office 365 is the cloud, right? But then again, that's just one cloud application, one cloud resource. Actually, when you talk to customers who are coming around or people who are coming around, a lot of the organizations use Salesforce. Lots of organizations use ServiceNow. Lots of organizations use tons of other cloud applications. They don't necessarily know that that's the cloud. So I think today, if you ask the CIO in any of the big UAE banks or any of the big UAE organizations, they'd say we don't use the cloud, right? And in general, cloud adoption in the UAE, and actually somewhere in Europe as well, is probably 18 months, 2 years behind the US. But the reality is because of organizations like Microsoft driving people to the cloud, then organizations will go to the cloud.
Right.
We spoke to an organization this morning that's in the media sector here in the GCC, and they've got a vast amount of cloud applications. Why? Because they're in the media sector and they work 24/7 across the world. They need people to access applications from wherever they are. So by default, the cloud allows them to do that. They need to make it a secure method of doing it. So cloud adoption here in the UAE, still early days, to be honest, but it's coming. And I think people are turning on to the idea that we know we're going to the cloud, so let's look at how we secure that.
So what is the key capability or key contribution of OKTA towards bridging this entire cloud gap which is existing in this region? Like if there is any kind of a legacy or a skill set or whatever it is, so how is OKTA helping to bridge this gap?
So I think there's a couple of areas where we bridge the gap into the cloud, right? Firstly, and fundamentally the easy one to really fix is single sign-on, right? So the whole idea of the cloud is you can access it from everywhere, right? Some of the downside of the cloud is that every single application or every single resource is a siloed application or a siloed resource. Therefore, if you as a user and you need to access 3 or 4 cloud applications, you have 3 or 4 new passwords that you have to remember and store and be secure, right? So from a user point of view, negate all of that and we give you single sign-on, utilizing your on-prem identity store. So I think that's very important. From a company, from a business security point of view, we also do the identity management. So we take your identity as it is on an on-premise world, and we actually provision that identity into those cloud applications. So it's a very automated process. So again, you know, when people join an organization, they get access instantly. More importantly, when people leave an organization, they get retired or deprovisioned out of those applications instantly. Because the cloud is accessible from everywhere.
Right.
You need to secure that, so when people leave, they can't have access anymore.
Right. So how do you go to market for this particular region?
So,
who are the key partners you're working with?
So we looked at the market. We looked at specific partners that have a footprint in the GCC, but also have a technology footprint around security and identity management. There's a number of partners out there, but actually we've selected PCS, Paramount Computer Systems. I've known them for a number of years, so I had a relationship with them, and I think that goes a long way as well. They've got a real interest in what we do. The customers that we have today are joint customers. PCS, we're already working with them. The customers requested that we worked with PCS anyway. But actually they give us that reach into the market. OKTA in itself, we're not going to set up our own UAE entity yet. And the reach of the UAE, because of the culture, because of the language, because of the skill set required, because of the way business is done here, it's absolutely essential that we utilize partners to do that. And today we're using PCS. We're not necessarily looking for a bunch of other partners. We will work as something strategic comes along. We might want to utilize other partners. But PCS are doing a great job for us today. We've got a great opportunity with PCS, so we're focusing on that.
So time for the tricky question now. In one sentence, why OKTA? One sentence.
Elevator pitch, one sentence. OKTA is the foundation to secure the connection between your users, your identities, and your applications in the cloud.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much.